Hello, it's Leedz. What up? Today we got a great interview. Bar work extraordinaire, Big Dese, other half of the Dunnas. Should be interesting. Let's see here, pin this. Let me just do my traditional, get this out of the way crap. Pin the comment, interview with Big Dese. We are here. It's Leedz Edutainment. Some good familiar faces in the building. Wild Card, what up? Kane Major, what up? Looks like Dese is even joined here. We might start a little bit early here. Was it Prosciutti Carlo, what up? Dese, I'm about to send you a invite in a second here. Let's see. Send request. Make note. Check mark in the building. Aha!
Hey.
There he is.
What's good?
Chilling, man. Your first time doing this? IG
First
Live?
interview, yep.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, well, we're just gonna roll with it. We're a little early. Rappers are early these days. I guess we get older, we get earlier.
I'm punctual. I've been working 20 years, you know.
Oh, that's true. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the Leedz Edutainment podcast with special guest rapper Big Dese, one half of the Dunnas, formerly of E3, formerly of the Camp, and probably a few other groups we're about to talk about. What's good, buddy?
What up, man? Chilling.
You just get out of work, I take it?
Now, like 4 shower, you know. Been out for like an hour.
Word. So, basically what I want to do is, I got Oak on here last week and bring you on here. We're talking about, you got the show. We're returning to live events this Thursday. You guys are coming back on the Easy Money album release party.
Yep.
At the Middle East Upstairs this Thursday, August 5th. Shout out to everybody else on the bill. But I want to, I didn't want to do the Dunnas together because, like, when I talked to Oak, is like you guys have such an extensive solo history and group history besides the Dunnas that it would have been too long and too like all over the place. So I was like, we gotta do this individually.
Right.
So I want to take people back, way back. Stoneham, Mass, right? Born and raised.
Yep. Stoneham. Yeah.
Crazy place. I got a lot of friends from Stoneham, and a bunch of funny experiences from Stoneham. What was that like for you growing up there?
Man, growing up, I was just into sports, so that was my thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, I had 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
And they were into like they were older, so they were into Guns N' Roses, Poison, and then I was kind of, I was like kindergarten listening to that, and then the first rap video I saw was Fresh Prince, Parents Just Don't Understand, and once I saw that was it. You know what I mean? Then I was just hooked.
Yeah, I was Poison and Guns N' Roses all day in the 80s. Parents didn't understand. I remember that, but that didn't switch me. Yeah. So when did the rapping start? When did you start rapping?
Not till high school. You know what I mean? You know Jay Farrow, right?
Oh yeah.
So I went to high school with him, and he had a little crew that would be rapping, and they were before me, and we would Wu-Tang Forever dropped, so we were all into that, and like I'll be honest, I was always more like I liked more commercial. They were like Grave Diggers and all that. Like I bumped Mace, they made fun of me, but looking back on it, Mace had like the syllables. You know what I mean? I don't know why I liked him, but he had the syllables from day one. That's why I like Mace. But
hold on, we'll stop you real quick.
Yeah.
But let's also talk about, I think Mace arguably has the worst follow-up album of all time. I think we could maybe say.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Was it Double Up? Is that the one?
Yeah, I mean, I stopped listening at that point, but
that's it. But no, it was first to second album. I stopped listening at second.
So
Yeah.
I guess the syllables didn't carry over to the second album.
Nah. But anyways, the the Lyricist Lounge Volume 1, that was a big catalyst. They were all into that, so I started bumping that. Wu-Tang Forever. And we kind of like imitate the verses. So I do like a RZA verse, in his voice. And then Method Man, and then Jay Farrow, he's like, yo, you got a good voice, you should try rapping. And I did it. I would do it on the side before I brought it, to him. You know what I mean? I wasn't ready to go like show what I had. And I was trash like the first 2 years, but then I got kind of nice,
Yeah.
I was definitely trash when I started.
Shout out. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's trash in the beginning, right?
Some people are natural, man. You hear like some young kids and they already got it.
Yeah.
It took a lot of sessions by myself, freestyling and stuff.
Well, shout out Jay Farah.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly underrated producer in New England. Him and Confidence, the
Oh,
duo,
yeah. Yep.
unbelievable stuff. I worked with them early in my career with Elemental Zazen and a few others, and man, nothing but heat came out of there. And it's good to see them. You guys put out that album recently. It was like 15 years later.
That should have came out in 2004.
Yeah. What was it called? 15 years later?
The whole problem with Jay Farrow, he's my dude. I love him, but he's too much of a perfectionist. Because I don't know if you remember DJ Next. You must remember DJ Next.
Next, who became Amalgam?
Yes.
Yeah,
he wanted to put that album out like back in 2004. And I was 22 at the time. And I was like, yeah, let's put it out. And he's like, well, the only thing we needed in like 3 months. And like Jay Farrow, man, he's like a perfectionist. Like, I can't mix this in 3 months. So then we never did the deal. But it would have been nice to like put it out at the time and already have a foot in the door, like when I was like 22.
So that was the first project you really recorded, was that project?
Well, no, because E3 was like probably like a year or two before. That was the first solo though.
Wow.
Yeah.
So right around, but early though, like probably like one of the first things you recorded,
like
right?
Yeah, 23 when I recorded that.
So let's talk. You went to UMass, right?
Yep.
Yeah, ZooMass, Amherst, right?
Right.
So it was the rapping. Is that where you met E3? Was out there?
Yeah. So I battled. I didn't know. I went to his battle. I battled, etc.
Nice.
And he beat me. And I didn't even know who he was, but he was nice. And we didn't hang out after that. But then I got revenge at an open mic for a Guru show. I beat him, and then after that we started chilling, and then it was like, we'd hang out every day and just like throw each other words, 2 hours of freestyles and all that.
So E3 was you, etc., and it was Skip Whitman. But
right.
What was Skip Whitman's name at the time?
The I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was you guys. And was Skip in UMass as well?
Yeah, he went there too. He was always like business savvy, so he had the setup and everything. You know what I mean? Like, etc. was already messing with him, and then actually, remember? I don't know if you remember Fuse, rest in peace, but he was originally E3, and he was one of the illest beatboxers ever. But I kind of took his place. He was partying a lot at the time.
Yeah.
But he was a good dude. He actually, the first live show I ever did, I didn't have any beats. He just beatboxed the whole show, and I would just like take words from the crowd and freestyle.
Yeah, so E3 becomes a thing, and then you link up with the promoter out there, TD3, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because this is when I come into the play. I started throwing shows around this time, 2004, 2005, and I had seen E3. You guys were doing a lot of shows at that time.
Yeah, he got us some shows, definitely.
Talk about your relationship with him, and what did he do for you? You opened for the Kanye or something? Was it Kanye?
He got open up for Kanye. It was like the Mount Holyoke spring concert. Got us like Cassidy. He got us a bunch, but he used to throw battles, so he used to always do his battles like one of us. And he took a liking to us.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hustler at the time.
Oh yeah, still is. He was still going.
Yeah. Came back into it.
Yeah. I booked you guys through him. One of our first shows. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember doing the J Zone at the Western Front show?
I don't remember who the headline was, but I remember doing Western Front show like early. It was dope.
J Zone was the headline.
Was it?
Yeah. But so we'll go back to the battles, because you guys kind of really made a name for yourself battling, because you were doing the E3 group thing, which was a great group. The energy was great. The three of you together, boom, boom, boom. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And very, very energetic performance. But individually, this is like after 8 Mile, and there's like a battle every week, basically.
Yeah.
Everyone's battling, and this is
I mean, it started before 8 Mile, but then once 8 Mile hit, then
popular.
It was
But I think it was 8 Mile that just made everybody want to throw a battle.
Definitely.
But this is rapping over beats.
Yeah, you didn't know it was freestyle. Like, you didn't know battling off the top.
So talk about the skill involved with that, and coming up in that circuit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So basically, you had to be nice freestyle. I mean, the first battle that I watched that made me want to do it was the Blaze battle with Idea. Do you remember that battle?
Is that when he beat
Shells?
Shells, yeah. It's embarrassing.
Once I saw that, I was like, that was the battle I had seen. But like I said, I met battling, etc. And then Grime came into the picture. But me and etc. We had a run up at like UMass like winning battles. It was either like me and him. And then the first time we saw Grime, we see this dude grab the mic, and it was like like mad clear, because like mad people would grab the mic and they would just be unconfident.
Yeah.
But he had this clear voice, and I think his first bar was crazy, but then he just like kind of choked. But we looked at each other when he grabbed the mic. We're like, oh shit, we got a problem here,
His
like,
voice
competition. And then, but he ended up going on a run, winning a ton of battles up there.
Yeah. What was I going to say? E3 eventually disables. Why does E3 break up?
You know what it was? I think Skip was like, he had real focus. Like he knew what he wanted to do. And I don't think we were moving at the pace that he wanted to move at, we kind of like, me and etc. kind of like were partying more. He was just, he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But we kind of had a different rhyme style anyways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you could definitely tell now with this music Skip makes and with you guys.
Yeah, I think Grime meshed a little better,
Yeah. One of the funniest battles I remember is that I actually was recorded was you battled Bomb Shot at Good Times.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Checkmark hosted it. It's on the Bomb Shot mixtape, Kill 'Em All. I put it together, that's why I know.
I don't know.
Hilarious battle, man. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
If you can find this thing, man, I don't even know if I even have a copy. It is hilarious. You guys...
Yeah.
I wish I could remember some of the lines, but that was a good one. But yeah, battle champ. So Skip leaves, in comes Grime, and this is the start of the camp.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that era. How did that differ? The camp, obviously, besides Grime being, how was the chemistry different? Let's talk about that.
Well, I think we were all on like some like the same type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, we just meshed a little better, you know what I mean?
Why? Because it's just more punchline. Everyone's a punchline rapper at this point.
We had all three of us had similar styles, and but I'll say about the camp, I'll say like we had a pretty damn good following, but basically, etc's hometown, Woburn, they would show out to shows. Like he would sell out shows just on Woburn. So I'm telling you.
Did you ever do a show in Woburn?
How many hot girls do we have in McGann's?
I'm gonna say the camp was early with the whole suburban white rapper thing, because and later, Sammy Adams makes it a thing and it turns into frat rap. But the camp was the first. The camp was the first out of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had the kegs and the keg party raps and all the suburbanites out there, wet t-shirt contest, girls doing, I don't even go into all the details, but it was, the shows were original. It was definitely one of a kind at the time. It was ahead of its time to what it became. The suburban rappers from the suburbs could do this.
Right.
And you guys had the skills to hang too.
Yeah.
And I tried to get you guys won almost. You wouldn't do my battles, but Etc. and Grime would do my battles, and they win every time.
We did this. We did Scribble Jam too.
And talk about that.
That was dope. We went with TD3. It was like a van of. I think Mike Styles went with us. It was a van of like 10 of us.
Yeah.
But you had to get invited, but we weren't in the. You had to win like the prelims to get in the main battle. I got in the main battle the first year, but I had lost in the prelims, but I did real good my first 2 rounds, and these 2 dudes were still in the battle that kind of sucked, and so the crowd actually chanted "Bring back Dese," and they brought me back in the battle. I lost to Franco. I actually lost him twice in the prelims, but I lost to him the second time in like the 4th round. They put me in the main battle. But when I got to the main battle, I battled this dude on Presence, and I had already battled him at the Avalon at the Super Bowl battle when KRS-One hosted.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I kind of bodied him there, like friggin', and then I kind of had no material left, even though it was freestyle. Like I just kind of like said everything I had to it, But that was
Let's talk about the mindset of how do you prepare for a freestyle battle? How do you get good at that? What does it take?
I mean, like that's what I did at UMass. It was just like every night I'd go to Etc's like dorm and we'd smoke like friggin', 10 blunts and just like freestyle for 2 hours, throw each other words and all that. So, but then also everybody cheats in a freestyle battle. Like you always kind of look around and you always got at least like 1 or 2 lines you're gonna say. Like whoever says they don't have a couple pre-mids, they're fucking lying.
Yeah.
Got some pre-mids.
Yeah. Unbelievable talent, man, to be able to just come off the top. And Boston had a rich history of the battles. You were in the Super Bowl battle, which was I used to promote those, and I was at that one with KRS-One.
Yeah.
That was at Avalon at the time. I remember that. That was a big deal. That it went from being a Super Bowl battle, went from being at the Western Front, being like 100 to 200 people, to at 1,000+ capacity venue.
Yeah.
1,500 capacity venue with KRS-One hosting it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of how big it was out here.
Yeah.
And you came up in those ranks. It's crazy.
Yeah. I gotta say, KRS-One, he was probably the coolest dude out of anyone we opened up for, meeting.
Yeah.
And I'd say Kanye was probably the biggest dick. Like he kicked everybody out of the back. Still, we didn't even get to meet him, but
he wasn't even huge yet at that time, right?
It was right after the college dropouts. Yeah.
KRS-One shows are the best. I think he's one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
Yep.
So the camp finally gets an album together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And shout out DJ Heaven too, right? Because DJ Heaven
he took over for TD3.
Yeah, he handled the business, right?
He kind of fell off, and then DJ Heaven stepped up, and he was hustling hard for us.
Yeah, I remember that. Shout out him.
Yeah.
And the camp finally gets an album together, right? And because back then it was like doing more shows actually got you more recognized than actually putting out an album.
Well, we put out the 2 mixtapes, kind of. It was like the mixtape era, so we had the mixtapes right away.
Yeah.
But then we had that official album.
Yeah, let's talk about the campaign, and because this is a slept on gem, New England gem. You know what I mean? executive producer Apathy, right? Apathy, executive
Apathy,
producer,
yeah.
right?
I'll tell you, a big part of that album was Teddy Ruxpin. It was,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think we were the first one to really use him. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
you might have been because
I,
Grime, I think, handed me a beat CD
yeah,
of like 50 beats,
yeah,
and he was probably like 17 or something at the time.
yeah.
I remember, there were shows that he couldn't really get in yet. Or,
I remember his dad. His dad's the weatherman.
yeah.
My girl, he dropped him off the studio the first time, but Teddy always made crazy beats, and it was like perfectly fit our style.
Did he produce the whole album?
Nah, but he like Apathy had. I think Apathy did at least 2 or 3 beats. Yeah, I think Apathy did 3 beats. Teddy did a bunch. We had a Jay Cotton beat. Yeah, Turbs made a couple beats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Confidence actually has a beat on there too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the album features obviously Apathy, Slane's on here,
Yeah.
Oak Lone Tree, shout out Q Ferb,
Yeah.
Shaw Stimuli. Was copyright on this?
No.
Oh,
App,
okay.
App didn't want us to really. App wasn't fucking with copyright, so he didn't really want to copy track.
You guys did a song with copyright though, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Copyright's a beast too.
He is.
We were talking about punchlines too, man. You go round and round with you too.
Hell
But yeah, this album, you got a distribution deal with Commonwealth Records, and this was kind of Camp's moment. We did the show at we did the album release party at the Middle East Upstairs, sold out.
Yeah.
Wooburn's in the building, Stonem's in the building, but and then what happens?
What happened after that? I don't know, man. We kind of just I think people were burnt out. Like I'll be honest with you. Like I think Heaven was like pushing heavy for us, and like he probably wasn't getting like the I don't know, the return from the other dudes. So he kind of like I don't know. It just kind of stopped, man. It's hard to keep a group together, but we dropped the power bars like 3 years later, but. I'll tell you, we didn't capitalize on our chance back then. Should have kept going.
King Arthur says the camp was in the source too.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This is all what 2000.
Actually,
was this 2008, 2009?
Yeah, we had a good article from Ferrone too in the Globe. We had a big page on there.
I think it was the time. The era. It was a difficult era. To get national, you know what I mean? It was hard.
I think we came up in like the I don't want to say the wrong time, but like it was just like the middle years. It was like I mean the people before us they just came up like we missed it by like 3 years. You know what I mean?
But we came up in the crash, right? Like the music industry, the old way of selling records and all that shit was done. The new way hadn't been figured out yet. You had to give away your music for free. I say this all the time.
Yeah.
There's no streaming. There's no downloading,
Yeah.
There's downloading, but there's no you're getting paid for it. It's just a tough era to become national and break out. It's very hard.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So everybody just kind of gets disappointed with the results of what the campaign does, and everyone just says enough. Is that what it is?
I mean, people were partying. You know what I mean? It's just, things happen. It was just hard to get maybe all 3 of us, together still. But and then 2009 it formed the Dunnas. So
So is the camp officially break up, or is it just
we
kind
never
of all
broke up? Like we dropped. It was just hard to get all 3 of us together. Like, I still talk to them dudes like not even now. Like we're on group text like on a daily, But it's actually it was just hard to meet up,
Yeah,
but
you just get older. It's older responsibility.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, work and all that.
Yeah. So you start the Dunnas, right? You and Oak Lone Tree start the Dunnas around that time.
Yeah, right. Billy Blaze was making the beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else? So what? So now you become married, right? Like you get married.
Well, now the first Dunnas I wasn't married, but like I'd say after the second album, yeah.
Second Dundas albums, man.
You gave us a good show. The first Dunnas album was Rakim at the where was it? The
Middle East.
no, the one in
Harper's Ferry.
yes, Harper's Ferry. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good hookup.
Yeah, I thought we ripped it actually. I was getting good responses after that show. But
I think you opened up for Rakim twice.
I think maybe 3 times. To be honest with you.
Damn, all right. That's good. That's not a lot of people can say that.
Yep. The only legend like out of the 4 of them, you know, Rakim, G Rap. The only one we KRS. The only one we didn't open up for was Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Well, Kane might be my favorite out of all of them.
I was gonna say I take you for a Kane fan.
Yeah.
So life happens. You get married. You have kids. You work construction for your father. You do drilling, correct? Like you drill into the ground.
Right. Yeah.
On these crazy machines, and this
go like 100, 200 feet in the ground sometimes. You know, I've been doing that.
Go ahead.
No, I've been doing that like, you know, since I was 18. Like even like when I did go to college, like my spring break was doing that. Winter break, I was out there. You know, but that's why I never got into the partying because I always had to wake up at 5 in the morning. You know what I mean?
What's that like doing a show late night and then having to wake up in the morning and go drill?
Well, see, at the time, we were doing a lot of shows. So, like, and I was younger. I could kind of handle it. But I took this Friday off. So on Thursday night, I might Uber in and, you know, have a little time for myself.
Right.
Yeah. Nah, it's tough waking up. You know what I mean? It's 5 in the morning every day.
Yeah, man, that work is no joke, man.
Yeah.
I salute you and Oak. Oak is in construction. He's a foreman too, you guys. I couldn't do it. I tried it. My stepfather was in. He tried to get me into it.
You got the size for it.
What?
You got the size for it.
I do.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the wake up early thing, man. It was hard.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I was able to get into the music business, and I've been lucky that way. So I'm grateful. But I have huge respect for anybody that's in labor construction. I know what that's like. I know what it does to your body. I know a lot of it, and a lot of my friends do it. Where I'm from, a lot of people, my friends, do it too.
Yeah.
So shout out everybody in that world. So then you kind of take a break for a little bit. Like I hadn't heard you for a minute. Like you kind of disappeared. I know the Dunnas, and then I don't know what the hell happened to all you guys.
I'll tell you. Once I had the kids, I think there was like
there it is.
I think once I had the kids, there was like 2 years where like I'd have verses like, but I'd have verses like ready, but I wasn't like recording nothing. I wasn't like doing any shows. I was just like, and I felt like to be honest, I felt like I kind of lost my identity a little bit, you know what I mean? Because I didn't have no cool shit to do. But I mean, at the same time, it was, you know, unbelievable being a father. But
yeah,
it's good. It was good to like step back into it.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I think like older, I feel like it's easier. Like I got, you know, they occupy themselves a lot.
So this is how I remember it.
Yeah.
I don't hear from Dese for a while.
Yeah.
Don't really know what's going on. Oak's going, you know, Oak is kind of all over the place at the time. Shout out Oak. And then I see you resurge with this project, Dad Bars.
Yeah.
And this is kind of how I get reacquainted with you. DJ Premier plays a joint off Dad Bars on his Live from Headquarters.
Yeah, he played 4 weeks in a row. I think he played one joint twice and then 3 joints total.
Yeah, and I'm like, Dese, I'm looking at the track list. I'm like, where the hell has this guy been? And I just go to double check it to make sure it's the same guy, and it's like, yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
And the bars, well, let's not talk about dad bars first. First, it's this funny concept album about rapping about being a dad and
Yeah. I feel
the ups and downs of marriage.
yeah.
Talk about making dad bars, because that's a funny album. It's a great album.
Yeah, you know, I kind of poke fun at being a dad. Like, you know, my wife gets it pretty bad on the
Oh yeah.
yeah, but you know, those times I got yelled at, I'd go write a verse about it. Nah, but I mean, I feel like that's what I was living at the time. So then I said, why not, you know, do an album that's, you know, rap about what I'm doing. And that's what, I mean, I was dadding heavily at the time. Not that I'm not dadding now, but I think the beginning's the toughest part, you know.
Why in the beginning is it the toughest part?
A lot of shit you don't want to be doing, you know. I mean, you love it, but it's like, you know, you going to kids' birthday parties every weekend or something. Now it's like, now they're at an age where, like, I love it because it's like I'm coaching baseball, their team, like 3 nights a week. That's like shit I'd always wanted to do, you know.
Nice.
But
so the mundane, you know, waiting outside at Target with the car running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Errands.
That's a very relatable album for a lot of people, you know, the dad.
It really was. I mean, I'm not a dad, but I got a kick out of it. I was like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah.
And the beats were great, and it was just like it was great. You know, it was a positive thing. You weren't taking yourself too serious. You kind of poking fun at it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, oh, Dese is still here.
Yeah.
And then you started putting out these just friggin' freestyles, or what should I say? Just bars. Like,
I finally got on social media. I was
there we go.
Probably 3 years ago, the first time. I never had nothing. You know, I had MySpace, but I never took me forever to get on Facebook. You know.
And you started releasing all these just friggin' 80 bars, 50 bars, all just straight, just spitting into the camera, just like we're talking now. You're just rapping, not even real videos. I'm just trying to rap into my phone.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. And honestly, it's really worked really well for you, because you've been getting a lot of praise for that, and people are really noticing your ability now.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about the transition into that, and like you got a lot better. Like you got better when you started doing those.
Well, you know, I had the verses for eons and verses for days. I like a series, verses for days, verses for eon, all on YouTube, and so I was doing that like along 07 or wherever, you know, like DJ Heaven filmed all those.
Yeah.
And then Scraps, you know Scraps?
No.
No, he's a big hip hop. He's a good dude. He came to my house and he had a dope camera. He's just like a fan, but I ended up, you know, being boys with him, and we did holiday bars. That's on YouTube. That's like
holiday bars.
Yeah, it was. I put it out during Christmas. It was probably like 30 minutes of verses. That was actually before dad bars. That was like the verses for 2 years when I wasn't doing nothing that I had stored in my head. It's probably over 30. Probably like 40 minutes of verses. We put that out, and then when I finally got social media, I was just like, this is what I do, verses. So I just, you know.
Bars.
Yeah, bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think it's been working probably the best for you yet, no?
No, yeah, definitely met a lot of people that way. Definitely good response.
I met up with you. I had finally saw you in person. I was judging a battle with Rec Shop.
Yeah. Shout out to Kinetic, because he I just went there to watch the battle. He signed me up without me. Yeah, he just said he signed me up without me knowing, and ended up taking it.
Yeah, by like a landslide. And shout out everybody that was in it. But
yeah,
Dese is just it was a very experienced battle rapper.
You know what?
Not everybody.
Like I say, you always have like a pre-med for a battle, but that was kind of cool too, because I didn't think I was battling, so I had no pre-meds. And I had to just like rap about what the people were wearing, you know. That was actually better, because it was like, I don't know, I had no pressure really. It was just like, That was totally off the top.
Yeah. And then what
I've
you?
always like pride myself on the freestyle. Like I'm like if you see me, sometimes my dad lives in Stoneham. I live in Peabody, and I'll on the way to work, like when he used to go in early, sometimes I'd be behind him in work, and he'd see me rapping in the car. He's like, "You look like a fucking crazy person." Like that's what I do. I rap, on my commutes. I got instrumentals on constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that how much you? So that's the routine. You just like
Well,
rapping every day, all the time.
I'm always rapping. Yeah. I'm like if I'll go through like I'll go through like 3 weeks where like the whole time going to work, I'm like doing a verse in my head. So then I'll have like 12 verses in my head, and then I'll get sick. Like I'll not get sick of doing that, but maybe I'll get like I don't know, I get kind of like burnt out on that. So then I'm like, it's a lot to memorize because like I don't write them down. I got them in my head. So you only got you got storage for maybe a half an hour. Then it's like, what are you gonna do? So then I'll go. Then when I get sick of that, like maybe for a month, I'll just freestyle in my head on the way to work. I'm always trying to do something.
How do you? So you're saying you can memorize 12 verses at once? You saying?
Not at once, but like one day, like Monday, I'll have a verse. Then
Yeah.
Tuesday, I got a verse. Wednesday, I got another verse. They're like 30 bar verses, and then like,
Which is like a song.
but the thing is like to keep them like in the head, you got to keep spitting them. So like before I start my verse, like Wednesday, I got to spit like Monday and Tuesday's verse in the head, and
It
then
goes
I
out.
go into Wednesday creating a verse.
It's crazy.
Uh,
Uh, all right.
and
So when you won that battle, you won the $500. You bought your kid your kids a couple pairs of Jordans, right?
Now
Something like that.
we went to the mall. We got we got we got throwback jerseys. They're into the jerseys now.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
Um, and I remember coming up to you at the end of that battle, and I said, "Listen, you need to join. You need to enter one of these a cappella battles,
yeah,
or I'm basically going to fight you." Because you were not allowing, you were not going to do any a cappella battles, which at the time it and still is the
yeah,
more popular battle form.
yeah,
And I used to be like, Dese, you got to do this, and everybody was telling you to do this,
yeah,
but your whole theory was you didn't want to do this. You
yeah.
don't like doing those. Let's talk about why you don't like doing those.
Uh, you know what? I should have done it like when Grind Time was on, because like, Direct who started Grind Time, he had hit me up at the time because he saw my versus videos on YouTube. He's like, I'm starting a New York division. This is when it was like fresh because I want you to be in the new, and I was like, I don't know, I don't know. It's just like I should have done it. And Pumpkinhead, rest in peace, hit me up at the time. Same thing to go to New York, and like I don't know. I remember being like, I remember in that era, you're like, oh, I don't battle no more. You want to like focus on tracks, but like it was a
Yeah,
stupid fucking thing. I should have done it at the time. Had a foot in early,
because
but
the battling was starting to get a bad name.
yeah, it's like all battle rappers can't make music, but who cares? They're getting it's like a whole, the ones
Well,
that are
it was
the
starting to
ones.
get a little played out. It was
A little bit, but I mean that grind time era was. I thought it was.
that
I,
was new.
I
Yeah,
loved that era. I
yeah.
looking back, that's a regret. I should have jumped in those early, because I mean I jumped in like 3 years ago once you told me, but I came in too late. It was already oversaturated.
Yeah, you did come in, but I'm glad you did it because I remember we went to that one and you battled that dude Bacon.
Yeah, yeah,
And what was great about it is no beat, and I thought you won. The thing is, they don't say who wins,
yeah. And then
but
I battled Illiterate after. I ended up he's one of my boys now. I love that dude. But
those guys were good too, man. You
no, yeah,
bet Bacon, illiterate.
it's definitely a talent. Like
So talk about the preparation about those battles and how it's different from the freestyle battles. How you prepare for that.
well, you know what? I write fast, so like I probably should have spent more time on these. Like even though I think I did all right, but I mean, I like once I knew I was battling Bacon, I probably had my whole battle. Like even though you get a month to write, I just like to be prepared. I had the whole thing in like 3 days. But I probably should have like took my time a little more. Even though I mean I think I did good, but I don't know. I gotta say, going a cappella, like I never even been nervous for a show. I got a little nervous doing the a cappella like in a big ass room. Like we opened up the Busta Rhymes show, and we really didn't even rehearse. I wasn't nervous, you know what I mean? But like I don't know, there's a different thing about the
Well,
a
it's
cappella.
newer to you. You
Yeah,
weren't as prepared. Like you
yeah,
hadn't
it
done
is.
it as much, right?
Yeah,
So you didn't really have that confidence of how this was going to go.
yeah. I thought I was
Yeah.
gonna body it more. I mean, I think I did good, but it was, I jumped in there too late. I think, like,
Well, there's the element of the mechanics of doing an acapella, how you talk to the radio, the
yeah,
camera, and all that.
I'm too old to be doing these hand gestures now. You know what I mean? And you gotta get
But
used to.
you're Italian, don't you talk with your hands?
Yeah, but I don't do the cool gun dance. Like I don't do gun bars, so it's like half these battles are
Yeah,
gun bars. I don't really be doing that. And
yeah.
you gotta like figure out when to pause for the crowd. Yeah, I mean, I could have got more comfortable doing it, but I
But you
don't know.
didn't like it.
No, not that I didn't like it. It's just I don't know. It was I might do one in the future. I'm not like ruling it out. But
Okay, so it's not because like you did a few and then you stopped, so I figured you were like done with it.
yeah, I do. I like my favorite thing is just making music.
Yeah. So no, and I
Uh,
hear you there. I hear you there. I just always you just have this natural this ability for rapping bars. It was like
yeah, and
I'm glad you at least did it so you can say that you did it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like because I was like, man, if he doesn't at least try this,
yeah.
he'll probably regret it in some form.
It's a different type of bars now too. It's like I feel like I body a beat like just as good as anybody, but like some of the battle bars, like dudes like Daylight, like I don't even. I'm so old, I don't even get half the shit. Like
Yeah.
it's too much of a. I don't know. I just like the raw like punchlines that hit right away. I don't want to have to fucking think about it for catch it the fourth time. So
Yeah.
I don't write like that. I like the Big K type battlers. It just
Who are some of your favorite battlers?
I think Pat Stay. I like Charlie Clips when he's on. When he's on and he's prepared, I like Clips. But I mean, I haven't watched a lot of new guys either. Like I kind of like I go through spurts of watching it. I like Disaster. Um, I don't know who else. Hall of the Dawn. Like
And what
Nestle.
about the freestyle battlers? Who were some of your faves back then?
Um, I mean, I was in a battle with Immaculate. He killed everybody that year. He was dope. Thesaurus is a. I mean, he's a great. Like I mean, you can't take nothing away from him. He he
Yeah.
was he was on a roll for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he battled Iron Solomon because they were uh, they were like the top two battles. One from the West Coast, one from the East. But I think Solomon cheated. He had mad pre meds, and then Thesaurus was just like multi rhyme scheming off the top.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
crazy.
uh,
So how do you think of all these funny punchlines? They just come to you?
yeah, I don't know. We bust each other's balls all day at work.
Yeah, did you grow up like with everybody just you busting everybody's balls around you because your ability to character assassinate and bust balls is just next level.
But you
And
know what it is? It's like I'm at work all these years, and it's like it's boring. So you got to just the
yeah,
whole time. Me and the guy at work, we just make fun of people because there's nothing else to do. So
right.
what are you gonna do?
So that's how the skill got defined.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of battles, tonight is Dipset versus Locks
yeah,
versus, and I know like you're a Dipset fan and you like the Locks, you like that type of hip hop
yeah,
too. But
yeah.
who do you got in this one? Who do you think wins this one?
I like them both, but I gotta go with Dipset, man.
Wow, dude,
Oh,
he's doing Dipset over Locks,
I
dude.
love that Dipset era. I love Cameron. Purple Haze is like that's one of my favorite albums. Not like that. Not like top five, but probably top 10. I love that Purple Haze album.
Yeah, because that's the thing about you. It's
Yeah,
different, out here. Is you like all that like really arrogant shit,
Uh,
which you can kind of hear in your influence.
yeah, I seen King Arthur. Shout out to him, man.
Oh,
But
King Arthur's going to give you shit for this.
yeah, he likes the lux. He says I like the flashy shit. I can't help it, you know.
So so Dipset, huh? Jim
Yeah,
Jones, Cameron, Jules Santana. You love all those dudes?
yeah, I do. Jim Jones, I'm not big on Jim Jones. I mean, I like him as a person, but I don't really fuck with his music that much. Jewels was like, he was on a run for years. I loved Hell Row.
I was going to say, Hell Rell's probably one of your favorites.
A.R. Ryder, Cameron. I mean, he's the father of it all.
He's the father.
Cameron came up with Big L and Mace, so Big L is like one of my favorite.
And Mace, and then apparently Mace is one of your faves too.
Well, no, I wouldn't put him up there, but
that album back then, I guess. Boy,
I
we
did.
talked about earlier that album.
Like Mace.
Syllables.
Yeah, he did. He did. His shit holds up better than a lot of like the so-called underground with the rhyme structure. Mace had rhyme structure.
It was short-lived.
Yeah, it was.
It was so short-lived.
Yeah, it was.
I like the first Cameron album, to be honest. The Confessions album, I love that one. That, to me, that's the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, I had.
When he reemerged as Dipset, it was a different thing.
Yeah, you didn't mess with it.
It's just too arrogant for me, man. It's just so arrogant, man.
That diplomatic immunity, that was. Come on.
Oh yeah, that was in the clubs everywhere. And my boy, like I lived with Peter Parker at the time, and yeah, he was big into Dipset too. He's like you and him are on the same kind of. You guys like a lot of the same stuff, and it was just it wasn't for me, man. I'm Jay Farron. I'm screaming Wu-Tang forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but
that's with the locks too, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, lyrically, skill-wise, these guys locks are probably
Don't sleep on Cam, man.
Banana Fama, Rama Gamma.
Come on, man.
Love all that shit, huh?
Yeah, I mess with it.
Were you in the oversized white tees and all that stuff back then?
I mean, I definitely had some white tees. I didn't get crazy like down to my knees though. I mean, I cut it off mid-thigh probably. You know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch it tonight?
Yeah, I took a nap. I took a nap after work so I could stay up and watch it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So where you at now, man? What's on the horizon now?
Well, I've been putting out a lot lately. You know.
Yeah, you have. Let's talk about some of the things you put out.
Well, obviously, I got to credit Oak throughout all these years because, like, I mean, he's pushed me to like get in the studio. Like, honestly, if he wasn't around, who knows if I'd even be recording, man. He's always like, "Oh, I need a verse from you," and then it would turn into like doing an album. So working with Oak a lot.
And I'd like to say that the combination of you and Oak live is really good.
Yeah.
That you guys complement each other very well.
Yeah, your anniversary show, that was one of my favorite shows I did.
And you guys were great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You guys were great.
Hopefully we bring it Thursday.
You rusty?
Nah, I mean we haven't done anything since the Buster show, but
which was a good one too to go out on.
Yeah. That was a
good.
But
yeah, so what else? You got
well, we're working
put out a few projects.
Working with Chairman Chow a lot. I'm glad I linked up with him because he's like, I like how he works fast and he's got the mindset. You need like when you got. See, I just rap, so you need to be around people that like push you. You know what I mean? So and Chef Bogey too, and then I got an album with Hunk Rock too.
Yep.
I don't know when I'm gonna put that out. That one's great.
Didn't you put one out with him already?
I did, but this one
what's the name of that one?
Still rough.
Still rough, yeah.
Still rough. And the one that I got recorded, that's a good one too.
Insight's on here, and I talked to Insight the other day, and he was talking about the album. You guys, Dunnas recorded
another one.
With.
We got a lot of stuff in the works. Yeah.
Well, I think like that's the reality of it. You and Oak are workers, and you guys can easily bang stuff out.
Yeah, that's why I think because like, I mean, the whole Dunnas albums, we would just get in the studio and write together. And Oak's like the one guy that writes faster than I do, so get a lot of work done, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think, you know, now that you guys are kind of seem like you guys are catching up with the industry now.
Yeah.
I think we're already going to see a surgence from you guys as long as you guys stay at it. I think people are enjoying it. This latest video
Yeah.
seems to be the best one yet.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? Sorry, I forget the name of the song.
Get Lost.
Get Lost 2, right?
Yeah, right. We had the first one. Oak reminded me that too. He's like, we already did it, Get Lost. So he's like, we got to name it Get Lost too.
Yeah, your verse on that is hilarious.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That verse is ridiculous.
I get a lot of I get some of these lines like no, I mean, you know, a small amount, but you get them from the old timers be dropping great knowledge at the job, you know, like the old construction guys. So
yeah,
I try to bring a little of their charisma
yeah,
into the raps.
yeah. It's like locker room talk / construction site talk. Yeah.
Construction workers, if we got foul mouths, you know.
Oh man, but
Yeah.
it's colorful though. It's usually quite entertaining the stuff that comes out
Yeah,
of it
totally.
if you can handle it.
Certainly fun, you know.
Yeah.
Because like now I'm coaching the baseball with my kids, and it's like a lot of the parents, they're like friend request me, and they're like, oh, they love the duplicated video, but you know the one about my sons. But it's like don't listen to the rest of it because it ain't the same.
Yeah. What happens when your kids listen to the rest of Dad Bars? Is that going to be an awkward moment?
You know, I do a lot of coughing when I play my records, and they're in the car. You know. I get coughing over the bad words.
Yeah, because I'm curious their reaction when they hear some of those songs and some of those topics.
Yeah, they know I'm a joker. You know, they're jokers too.
Yeah, and your wife didn't get upset when she heard some of that stuff?
You don't listen anymore. I think the one song she said she did hear from Dad Bars, it was like the worst one. I forget the one, but I forget the title of it. But she's like, "Oh, I played this one," and I was like, "Oof, I don't know if they want to start with that one, you know." But she, you know what it was? I burnt her out early when she started dating me. She loved the raps, and then I do it so much she don't even want to hear it anymore. You know?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Well, Dese, man, this has been great, man, catching up with you. I think you're in a good place, man. I think the future looks good, man. And you know, you got a good balance there with your family and your job, and then you do this, and that's really what it is for a lot of artists. You know,
yeah.
It's not, you know, not everybody is, you know, full time. Nor should they be.
No.
And the balanced lifestyle is good. But look forward to seeing you this Thursday.
Yeah,
in the Middle East.
Yeah.
See the Dunnas back in action.
Yep.
And
looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Always a pleasure, man. I look forward to hearing more. Always look forward to hearing more. And just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast with my man Big Dese of the Dunnas. And we'll talk soon, brother.
All right, man.
Peace.
Thursday.
All right.
Bye.